cast, I think. Yeah, I need add cast here. Okay, so we got the connector gateway service object here, and this is the important and the first object required. So using this service object, we can access the functionality, the implementation part of the uh, actual service. So the service gives us the connection to the backend. So now uh, the second object that we need is connection properties. So connection properties, so prepare object for connection properties here. And connection properties, it takes two parameters, this constructor, and one is the language. So how do we get the language? From request object we can get the language. So get locally, this get locally method provides you the language, locally specific string, and the other object is user, current user. So you can get the user from the request object, that is get user. So now this connection properties object holds, so we just prepared the connection properties object. This holds a language and user. So this object is required for SSO, single sign-on. To achieve single sign-on, the portal application, we need this. So now the CP or the connection properties object is prepared, and it has the language and the user. Now the third object we need to prepare is getting the connection, actual connection here. That we can achieve by iConnection. So we already imported the class here, iConnection. So now we can get the actual connection to the backend. So how do we get the connection? From CG service. So this is the first object. From first object we can get the connection gateway service, because this object provide access to the methods in the implementation. So that's the get connection method. So this is a service method, and using this method you can get the connection. And this method takes two parameters. So one is a string object, and one is a string, and the other one is connection properties. So the string here is a system alias, that is portal understand all the backend systems by alias names. So every backend system, it can be a SAP system or a JDBC system or any other system, a web service system, it should have a system alias in the portal. That means in portal, backend system is identified by a system alias. So make sure that you got your system alias. That's the backend system alias in portal. So that's in my server, my system alias is here, SAP underscore R3. This is my system alias, and the other argument is your connection properties. So this get connection method takes two parameters. One is alias name of the backend system and connection properties. Connection properties holds the username and language. So with these parameters you get the connection. So to need the connection, you need to provide alias name to the service method get connection. So with this we got the connection to backend, and So make sure that you need to add a try and catch here. So since it is so the connection, we got the connection object here. Now we got the actual connection. Now once we got the connection to the backend, so we need to um, interact with the backend system, uh, interact with the BAPIs. So for that we need to create iInteraction object. So iInteraction describes the data required to call the BAPI. So we need iInteraction object. So we already have iInteraction here imported, and just copy this iInteraction. So this object is required. So iInteraction, how do you get the iInteraction here? So iInteraction, we get the iInteraction from the connection object. So from this connection we get the iInteraction. You can say create interaction EX. So select this one and we get the interaction here. Now to communicate with the actual BAPI, so we need to get the interaction spec. So we got the interaction. Now the next step is creating interaction spec. So get the interaction spec also. So we imported the interaction spec here. So this is required to communicate with the BAPI, and this interaction spec holds the actual BAPI name to be communicated. So how do we get the interaction spec? We get this by the interaction object. So get interaction spec. So we got the interaction spec also. Now we need to set the actual BAPI that we are going to call in this interaction spec now. So the actual BAPI that we are going to call, we have a method set property value. So this is the method, and I'm assigning to a string variable the method that I'm going to call. So I'm going to call a BAPI, a standard BAPI here, BAPI sales order get list. So this is the BAPI that I'm going to call. So I need to set it in the interaction spec. So my interaction spec has got this object has got the name of the remote method that I'm going to call here. So interaction spec is ready here and the method to be called. Now we need to create a record factory here, record factory object here, and this record factory will provide us a mapper record. Actually we need to provide the BAPI with the input, and we need to get the output. So the input should be a mapper record. It's a data structure here, and that is the ideal data structure that actually is